Hallo, mein Name ist Bernd Dittrich, Nummer 7, Quarterback für SFU.
He would have these jokes that were so stupid and he thought were so funny, and he would tell them their little tricks or logic problems. He's like, "Coach, you want to bet me $10 that I can do between 2,000 and 3,000 push-ups?" He's like, he'd go down, he did 3 push-ups and got back up. He's like, "There, see?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said between 2,000 and 3,000 push-ups, and he said 2,000 and 3,000 push-ups. I did 3, and he thought it was so funny. And I'm like, "You are such a geek."
He was a guy that treated everybody equal. And I know it's a cliche thing to say, but he was a person that would, hang out with the seniors in our team, like when he first arrived here, but also with like the new rookies that might as well, maybe just even stick around for a week. But he had such a honest way of treating people.
Bernd was a young guy that cared so much about other people and about something larger than himself. And he got the most out of his 40, the most out of his bench. He was a loving, kind, unselfish young man.
Last spring semester, he failed 2 courses. And Bernie's not a bad student, but he was tutoring like 18 people in math and failed his own classes. So he wasn't even, I mean, everything he was doing was for other people.
He was a funny guy. He was just so different he was intriguing. Like, I could normally read most people, but I couldn't read him. And it's what kind of draws you into him, is this kind of mysterious guy. Like, looking at him, you'd never think he was a math major or looking into going into stats or actuarial sciences. Like, you just wouldn't think that. Like, he was more, there's more behind the cover.
He was real humble. You find, star quarterback, but he was the most humble guy on the team. I think there was one instance in 2008, he's our starting quarterback, and the defense is on the field and it's a timeout, and they need water. Well, Bernie grabs the water balls and runs it into the huddle. Your star quarterback doesn't do that, and Bernie did, and he didn't think twice about it. It wasn't like, "Oh, nobody's doing it, I gotta do it." It was, "Oh, they need water, okay, I'm gonna go do it."
He was a person that was confident, and that's something I really admired about him. He was a person that did whatever felt was right for him, and in such a hardworking way that was admirable.
His work ethic was exceptional, and I was talking to my wife a couple days ago, and she didn't even realize how much time I had spent with him when I was in Vienna, and she would always give me grief for coming home at in the off season when I wasn't supposed to be working very long. I'd come home at like 9 o'clock at night, and she was like, she just assumed I was coming home at 9 o'clock. I don't know, maybe she thought I had a mistress or something like that, but it turns out that Bernie was the guy that I was actually sticking around to 7:30 at the facility, and we'd throw and we'd work on footwork. And
I have been shocked at the number of areas of this campus that have been impacted. I mean, my goodness, the lady who I was in the cafeteria yesterday, she talks about how he liked extra mashed potatoes, and the security guy calls me. I mean, his life really was spread across this campus, from Cornerstone to the dining hall.
On the field, I think, was pretty obvious. He would put his body out there for 1 more yard when it, in the long run, didn't make that much of a difference. But off the field, he'd always be up super late with whether, it didn't matter who he was tutoring, just to make sure they understood what they were doing. And he would, just anything he did, really, it was just, he was doing it for you, and you knew that when he was helping you, kind of thing.
I think Bernie looked for opportunities to make someone's day better, and whether that's the lady in the dining hall or while he was doing security, you always left an interaction with him feeling good.
Those are tears of joy, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh God. I don't know what to say.
Did you
It's
feel
all-
confident
yeah.
going into the game?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What made you feel confident? Well, you didn't get to play much last year.
I didn't, but it was, I don't know, it was just the way we practiced. It was amazing.
Everybody had worked so hard for that game, and for Bernie, I think it was deeper than just the game. It was the accumulation of work over the course of 7-8 years. And I talked to him a little bit about this as well, and because I would joke with him that he a big crybaby, and he would always be, oh, I never cry, I'm emotionless and all that kind of stuff, and then he's sobbing on the first win that he ever has, and so he would always get a little embarrassed about that, but it was really the accumulation of work and striving to reach something that although he believed he could do it, he had no clue how.
In 2007, I think he took 3 snaps, got concussed, started speaking German in the huddle, so we had to get him out. And he prepared for that day the entire off season. And he was competing for a job. It wasn't a locked up thing. And I think over 300 yards passing. I don't remember exact completion percentage, but that was as good a day as Bernd Dittrich ever had here in terms of performance on the field.
I probably describe it as one of the highlights of our lives. Just, yeah, like you said, where we came from the year before, the work we put in the off season, the life we created for ourselves in Canada, and basically the fulfillment of our dream. Because I mean, throwing a touchdown to one friend to another already means a lot, but on a different continent, on a different level of football, it was an amazing feeling, and that was probably the only time ever that me and him were crying at the same time, looking at each other, holding each other. I know this sounds a little bit disturbing, but we didn't really know how to react to this, and a lot of people remember that interview, and a lot of people afterwards like, do you think it was good that he cried on camera? Like, it was natural. It was the reaction of a human being that succeeded something that was just amazing, and it turned into an amazing story, and that meant a lot to him and to me as well.